If you're worried and struggled about how to answer 24 mark questions in AQA A-level business, make sure you watch this video. Now our 24 mark questions will come up in paper 3 and there will be one of them that you need to answer. Now the special thing with paper 3 is that you will be having to analyse and annotate a pretty large case study. The case study is normally around 2 to 3 pages long, so you'll be using a lot of application within your answer. Now what's special about these 24 mark questions is that they are an open question. So we'll be asking about all businesses, any business or a business. Which means that for one of your arguments you need to be using the case study, but for your counter arguments you have to be bringing in new examples and new application. And this is why learning and following business news is going to be so important, because you can bring that into your answers for open questions. So when you are reading the question, make sure you identify the start point, which will be where you start your chains of analysis, and identify the end point, which is where you're going to finish your chains of analysis. And the structure that I want you to follow is, firstly you want to do a point 4, explaining your chains of analysis, explaining the how and the why. And if you have time, add a little evaluation at the end. So tell me, what does your point depend on, and explain why. Then you want to provide more balance, so do a point against. Once again, identify the start point, build your chains of analysis from there, explain how and explain why, and then finish up on your chains of analysis with your end point. Then once again, only if you have time, add a little evaluation at the end. So explain, what does your point here depend on? Then you want to finish up on a conclusion. So your conclusion, answer the question, be really clear in what your answer is. Then you want to justify your answer, explain why this is your answer. Remember, do not bring in any new points, use the points that you've already built. However, I do want you to be bringing in new pieces of application. Then I want you to tell me, what does your answer depend on? Explain why it depends on this, explain how it depends on this. So as I said, just to recap, remember, bring in new application. It is paper 3 and it is an open question. And most importantly, make sure you are using relevant theories and models to develop and support your chains of analysis. In the paper 3 case study, there will be certain hooks and references to theories and models throughout. And if you do want to learn just a little bit more about exam technique for AQA A-level business, I have a free exam technique course, which you can access by clicking the link in my bio.